And chat? How's it going, guys? Welcome back to Paranormasight. Let's see, are we doing Tetsuo or Haroe? Is the question. Let's do Haroe. When the son of Haroe Shigima was kidnapped, a botched investigation by the police resulted in the child's murder. 1 year later, Haroe has hired a private investigator to help resolve the unsettled case. Late at night, while speaking to the detective in her home, something strange suddenly appears. Whoa! May those who mock fires perish in flame. Kill them. Kill them! The flame bearers! Kill them all! Excuse me. Required the power of the curse stone, the haunting clappers. You can use it to kill those with fire or a fire-starting device on their person. Huh. No lead-in, huh? Press the use curse button to set your target alight. Haunting clappers. A resentful memory. Red, red, red. Everything is dyed crimson. My home is burning to the ground. It's hot. So hot. I must call for help. But I cannot speak. My throat must be burned up from the smoke. No, I think I'm already on fire. That's right. I'll just use the clappers. Clack, clack. Is anybody there? Clack, clack. Why is no one coming? I'm going to burn to death. How did it come to this? Oh, right. Her. It must be the work of that vixen who appeared suddenly and enchanted my lord. That witch! Those hauntingly cold eyes had my lord dancing in the palm of her hand. Perhaps I was also taken in by her. How many innocent people did I lure in under orders? This must be karma. The sound of a heavy bell. It feels like Mayhead will split open. Ah, right, the evening bell. That must be why nobody can hear the sound of my clappers. I've got to do it louder. Clack, clack. A murderous impulse seeps into my soul like thick black tar. No lead into this, huh? Now. Kill. Can you hear it, curse bearer? You who so strongly desires the right. Kill them. Haroe Shigima, 12 a.m. Shigima Mansion Reception Room. She's rich. Right. Back with me, ma'am. Can't say I understand what just happened, but it certainly seems to have put you in a good mood. This might be the first time I've ever seen you really smile. Sweet dreams? Haroe Shigima, housewife. Haroe is a housewife who resides in a manor near Shimoku Bridge. Her 11-year-old son, Shuichi, was kidnapped and murdered about a year ago. The death was the result of a mistake on the part of the detective assigned to the case. A mistake which enraged the kidnapper and had him cut off all contact with the police, leaving no room for negotiation. The incident was covered up, and Shuichi's killer remains at large, leading the aggrieved Haroe to call on the services of private investigator Richter Kai to uncover the truth. The Shigima family came from a line of samurai who built their residence in Honjo during the Edo period. They assumed important positions in the police force following the Meiji Revolution, thereby protecting their family's elevated status. Even today, many in the Shigima line work as police bureaucrats and senior police officers. Haroe's father sits in the upper echelons of the National Police Agency, and her husband, adopted into the Shigima clan through an arranged marriage, is also a highly respected agency official. However, as her family prioritizes work above all else, it wasn't long before Haraway's marriage grew cold. Though she wants for nothing, she is isolated from her neighbors and withdrawn from society. Seeing her son grow into a young man gave Haraway a purpose in life, but it was cut short by the kidnapping incident. Following the incident, Haraway spent many days in a deep depression, breaking into sudden fits of shouting and wandering around in the middle of the night. Her cheerful, loving disposition faded away, and she took to making snide remarks at her husband, which only further soured their relationship. A few months ago, Haraway's husband was transferred to another area for work, and now rarely returns home, with Haraway left to live in the large, empty mansion, alone. As a housekeeper who has been with the family for a long time comes in to take care of all the housework, Haraway has nothing but time on her hands. That sounds miserable! No, not dreams. Sounds like something I might want to hear about. My heart's still racing. This is it. My chance. At long last. A private investigator I hired. A friend told me about him. They said he's not very well known, but he's good at what he does. When I first visited his office in Ota City and saw how he dressed, I could hardly believe he was a detective. But after talking to him for a while, I changed my mind. He says some strange things at times, but he seems like the reliable sort. The eccentric man. Once a police officer. After taking on a request from Haraway, she came out to investigate the unsolved kidnapping and murder of her son. He gets caught up in the events surrounding the rite of resurrection. Once a police officer, Richter was racked with guilt over the police's inability to help all those in need, and quit the force to start his own private investigation firm. However, his soft-hearted nature leads him to take on too many cases and has put his office in dire financial straits. How he is still in business is a mystery, with some whispering that a wealthy patron is keeping him afloat. Richter studied alongside Detective June Ario at the police academy. Oh, hey! Somewhat surprisingly, given his outlandish clothing and mannerisms, Richter excels at covert investigations and tailing his targets. He proudly refers to himself as an investigator extraordinaire, though that only ever succeeds in impressing himself. Richter's biggest source of happiness is nuzzling his pet female albino parakeet, Ernestine, which he keeps in his office. He also enjoys collecting mockingbird stickers, a popular line of merchandise featuring birds inexplicably dressed like delinquents, and can be frequently sighted searching around town for them. While out and about, Richter typically leaves the office, and more importantly Ernestine, in the care of Amamori, a junior high schooler who volunteered to assist Richter after being involved in a previous case. I hope nothing bad happens to him. Azure Heron Agency, Richter Kai's private investigation firm in Kamada, Ota City. Originally, Kai thought to give it a simple name, like Kai's Detective Agency. But upon hearing that people are more likely to pick names listed at the front of the phone book, alphabetically, he decided to pick a name starting with an A. Thus, the Azure Heron Agency was established. However, it is questionable whether the heron, a bird of somewhat ominous significance, is an effective symbol for attracting customers. Even his own assistant has referred to the name as confusing at best. After all, rather than an azure heron, Richter keeps a white parrot as a pet, and dresses not in blue, but mostly in white. If there was a symbolic connection to be made here, it has surely been lost on all but Richter himself. A private investigator, also known as a private eye, is a detective who operates their own agency. Although there are no formal qualifications necessary to become a private investigator, many are retired police agents or detectives due to the similarities between the work involved. At a glance, private investigation firms and inquiry offices might look similar, but they carry out different types of investigations. Inquiry offices specialize in conducting credit checks on businesses, while private investigators are generally involved in tailing persons of interest and gaining information surreptitiously. A fax machine. You can send images to other places along the telephone network. I don't really know how it works. Most houses don't have one. I rarely find a use for it. The telephone. This mansion has a private line. An old hanging scroll. I don't know who painted it. It's been hanging here since before I was born. An arrangement of flowers. We bring in someone to do it. I don't even know what the flowers are called. That's a big-ass stereo. A stereo unit with separated speakers designed for home use. My husband insisted on buying one, even though he isn't one to listen to music often. Well, when you want to listen to... That's something left from her son, isn't it? Well, I'll be damned. Is that what I think it is? Goodness, you made me jump. It's just a silly little sticker my son got from somewhere or other. He put it up just before... Well, you know what happened. I still can't bring myself to take it down. Let me take a closer look. I knew it. It's Head Hensho from way back in set number 1. This is a real collector's item. Excuse me? Don't tell me you've never heard of the Mockingbirds. The what? They're the hottest new craze. Cute little birds dressed up like rough-and-tumble delinquents. I've never heard of them, but this certainly seems to matter to you. Instead of paying you, I'll give you the sticker. The best part is, nobody knows who made them. They just started showing up around town, and soon enough, they'd won everybody's hearts. The story goes that they're made by some anonymous artist who covertly leaves them behind in specific locations. No one knows when or where they'll show up next. They're basically an urban legend of sorts. No wonder you're interested. To think one would turn up here, of all places. This is a good sign, I'm sure of it. Oh, well, that's nice. Collect your first Mockingbird sticker. That's a lot. Oh, and it's hints on how to get them all. I'm not going to look at the hints. I want to find the ones that I can. 20 of them scattered around. Legend has it collecting them all will bring good luck. Probably necessary for a good ending. A color television. Father bought one as soon as it hit the market. He likes to have the latest gadgets. Unlike the latest models, there is no remote control. We've had it for a long time. Back when it was new, we all gathered around it and marveled at it as a family. But with Father and my husband being away so often, it quickly fell into disuse. What are you doing with your time, Haraway? Are you just sitting and brooding? You're not like watching TV or reading or anything? You don't use the speakers, you don't use the TV. What are you doing? Let me bring you up to speed. We were in the middle of a chat when you suddenly started spacing out. And the whole time you were grinning to yourself like you just won the lottery. Care to tell me what that was all about? Did I miss any Mockingbird stickers in Yako's storyline? Care to tell me what that was all about? Well, where to start? No, I didn't. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. So the Haunting Clapper's curse echo appeared out of nowhere. Ah, you know what they are. Told you how to perform the rite of resurrection, and gave you the curse you'll need to do it. Have I got that right? That's right. So it's all real. Honestly, I still find it hard to believe. But I guess I have to now. I saw that curse stone appear in your hand myself. It looks like it popped clean out of thin air. With evidence that clear, there's no denying that there's some supernatural force at work. I don't think you quite understand. Oh? This isn't about evidence, and it isn't about belief. It's more than that. I know it's real. The moment the curse appeared, I knew everything before it even said a word. It was already there in my head, as clear as day. You just knew, huh? It was etched onto my soul, along with the curse echo's resentful memories. So I can feel it, what it was like. Dying like they did hundreds of years ago, wreathed in flame, writhing in pain as my flesh blackens and my blood boils. I can feel it. All the agony, all the rage. It fills me with bloodlust. I think I need to kill someone. Anyone will do, just as long as they're carrying fire. I see. That could be a problem. You think so? From what I know of you, I was sure you'd see it as an opportunity. The stronger the desire to resurrect someone, the stronger the urge to kill. That's how it seems to me, anyway. Good grief. Talk about a spanner in the works. I say we take stock for a moment, remind ourselves where we've come from and where we're going. That might be a good idea. You're pretty chill about the whole I want to murder somebody thing. About the investigation. That's what you hired me for, ma'am, to look into your son's kidnapping last year. To uncover the truth behind the abduction and murder of Shuichi Shigema. Oh, yes, I remember. They never did find the one who did it. That's what I'm here about today, in fact. Kind of you to let me drop by so late, by the way. I've been turning over every last stone, and I've come up with a grand total of... nothing? 1 lead! So you said. As far as the police are concerned, it's a cold case, but I've managed to make some headway. I remember. You were just about to tell me. The Shigema kidnapping. A kidnapping and murder case that took place in Honjo, Sumida, around 1 year ago. Haruo Shigema's son, Shuichi, age 11, was kidnapped on his way home from school, with a ransom being demanded that same evening. Initially, the kidnapping was thought of as a simple extortion scheme, but when it came to light that the Shigema family was closely tied to the police, and Shuichi was in fact the grandson of a senior official, it was quickly assumed that the perpetrator was acting upon a grudge against the police force. The kidnapping was treated as a direct attack against the good name of the police, and a large-scale investigation was launched that used the best equipment available to trace phone calls. This made it all the more embarrassing when they were unable to catch the culprit, losing the public's confidence. The culprit grew cocky, relentlessly mocking the police force. After 3 days of failure after failure, Haruo reached a breaking point. Spurred by concern for her son, she resolved to hand over the ransom money as fast as possible, but her husband and father, who held the prestige of the police in high regard, refused, saying that they would not let the criminal win by giving in to their demands. So you sacrificed your son and your grandson for pride? The increasingly frantic detective assigned to the case lost his temper when the criminal called to give an ultimatum, causing the culprit to never make contact again. Another week passed, and Shuichi's body was found floating in the Sumida River. Shuichi's death could be largely ascribed to the police's incompetence, but this was ultimately covered up with stringent media embargoes. The investigation was never closed, but the case has long gone cold. Shuichi Shigema, the only son of Haruo Shigema. He was kidnapped and murdered 1 year ago. His body was discovered floating in the Sumida River. Shuichi was a conscientious, brave young boy who was determined to protect his mother, Haruo, amid his father's frequent absences. He dreamed of becoming a police officer and displayed diligence and an impressive sense of responsibility from a young age, likely due to being raised in an extremely strict environment. Born in the early 70s, he spent his days immersed in various activities and studies, including playing piano, learning the abacus, taking English lessons, and training in kendo. What do you mean, learning the abacus? The abacus is one of the simplest mathematical devices ever made. Shuichi's tendency to put other people's needs over his own meant he died without ever telling his classmates how much he longed for them all to go out on a hunt for mockingbird stickers. That's a interesting thing to end the entry with. About the investigation. You know, we still need to figure out exactly what you want me to do. Tell you what, why don't I tell you what I found, and then we can make a decision. All right. You know, okay. About the kidnapping. I suppose there's not much point going over the kidnapping itself. No, I'm very familiar. Then I'll leave that for the files to cover and just confirm a few things about the case. The police traced the culprit's calls back to, let's see here, Northern Oyoko River, here in Sumida City. It's quite a wide area. That's right. In the end, they never managed to nail down exactly where the calls were coming from. But it was almost certainly the same location that Shuichi was being held captive, since Shuichi's voice could be heard during the killer's calls. Northern Oyoko River is quite a distance from Shuichi's normal school commute. Factoring in that he was seen at school but went missing before he arrived at his house, it's likely that he was abducted by car on his route home. Maybe, but... Exactly. Shuichi was a clever boy. He never would have gotten into a car with a stranger. That's right. I was very firm about that. I know he understood, too. I even saw him warning the other children. It's possible that they forced him into the car. The only issue there is, there weren't any witnesses to the kidnapping. You can't bundle someone into a car with that many students around and not be noticed. But nobody came forward to say they saw anything suspicious. So did they target him at some other time, or somewhere away from his usual route? Both of those seem a little far-fetched. Which raises the question, how did the kidnapper pull it off? The police never managed to find an answer. In the end, they decided that the kidnapper must just have gotten lucky. Well, why not turn the problem on its head? The kidnapper managed to convince Shuichi to get into their car. But how? The only thing that makes sense to me is if they were somebody that he would have a reason to trust. A teacher, perhaps, or a relative, or somebody else that he knew. But all of the adults Shuichi knew had alibis. The police checked them all thoroughly. They did, huh? No one throws numbers at a problem like the cops. But what if it wasn't someone he knew? Or rather, what if the culprit disguised themselves as a police officer? That would explain why he didn't find them suspicious. The Shigema family has close ties with the police, after all. He would have had a reason to trust them. You might be right. But surely that couldn't have... Well, there's a problem with the theory. You'd be surprised how much police officers stand out. That's sort of the point, after all. They're meant to be a visible deterrent against crime. But here's another interesting little bit of trivia I happen to know. When you ask people to imagine someone suspicious, nobody pictures women or children. Even kids who've been warned about stranger danger often subconsciously expect that danger to look like an adult man. Besides, Shuichi was the sort of boy who wanted to be a police officer when he grew up. He must have had a very strong sense of right and wrong. That's right. Wait, surely you can't mean... Now you're getting it. If, say, a young woman approached Shuichi asking for help, what would he have done? If someone like that said they were lost and asked him for directions, would he have gotten into a car? He might have. My husband always told him that a man had a duty to watch out for women and children. You could certainly argue that kind of attitude is outdated nowadays. But if Shuichi believed it, then we might have something here. Then you think the culprit was a young woman. But it was a man's voice on the phone. She might have been an accomplice, or maybe she didn't even realize she was being used. If anything, that would explain why she hasn't come forward. She herself might not realize she had anything to do with the case. So the question is, did anybody see Shuichi speaking with a young woman on the day of his disappearance? There's a sort of sad irony to starting Harue's route on Mother's Day. Oh man, that's true. See, what I said about people's biases, that goes for witnesses too. And I figured that maybe, if I started asking new questions, I might get some new answers. So I spent my day asking around Shuichi's school route, seeing if anyone had seen something. And one man thought he had. Do you mean he saw it happen? Well, I can't say that for sure yet. It turned out he wanted something from me, so he asked if we could talk in private. What if the guy who killed Shuichi is the one behind the shadow curse or whatever it's called? All right, this should do. There's no one around. We can speak in confidence. Excuse me, what was your name again? Oh, Jonouchi. Got it. Well, Jonouchi, I'm all ears. Just so we're on the same page. You're a private detective investigating Shuichi Shigima's kidnapping. Do I have that right? Of course. What else do I look like? How should I know what a private detective looks like? Forget it. Look, I'll tell you straight. My life is in danger. I need your help. You'll excuse me if that caught me a little off guard. Let me ask you straight. Who is trying to kill you? A student called Michio Shiraishi. Interesting. A schoolgirl, eh? Sounds like you've been naughty. It's nothing like that. That girl, she's a murderer. I'm the only one who knows, but I saw what she did. Michio Shiraishi, I saw her kidnap Shuichi Shigema. Come again? I saw her talk to him on the street and lead him away. I didn't think much of it at the time, but then he went missing. She murdered him, I'm sure of it. Or at least she's got something to do with it. That's what you're here for, isn't it? Then you can't let her get to me. If that's true, you've been sitting on some valuable information. Why didn't you tell anybody? Well, you see, if you can't explain that, I don't have any reason to believe you. I couldn't. She told me she'd kill me if I spoke a word. You're telling me a schoolgirl had you scared for your life? So you've been sitting on that all this time, and you think she's coming for you now that you've spilled the beans? Yes, that's it, exactly. I'm begging you, don't let her get me. Arrest her, I'm telling you, she's a demon. Well, you seem to believe what you're saying, but it just doesn't add up. How could a schoolgirl have a fully grown man so terrified? You don't know what she can do. She'll curse me. Curse you? I'm sorry, but you're losing me here. It's true. Her house, it's... Oh, forget it. Why do I even bother? You seemed dubious enough to believe me, but I should have known you'd never understand. Enough. I'll find someone else to help me. Hey! So that's why he's open to the idea of the supernatural. And that's about the long and short of it. I can hardly believe it. At the time, I thought his mention of curses was just crazy talk. But I'm starting to see that there might have been more to it. Then, if we can just find that girl. Curse or no curse, if she was with Shuichi on the day of the kidnapping, then there's a good chance she knows something. On top of that, I did some digging on the man I spoke to. His full name's Kohei Jonouchi. He's a teacher at Komagata High School here in Sumida. A teacher? Then this schoolgirl, He's one of his students? I think that's very likely. At last, we've got a lead. Hopefully, it'll be the breakthrough we're looking for. You know, we still need to figure out exactly what you want me to do. Tell you what, why don't I tell you what I've found and then we can make a decision. Okay. About the right of resurrection. The right of resurrection, huh? I read about that in an occult magazine the other day. Apparently, some old books showed up recently with all the gory details. And they say that the right can be found somewhere in Honjo. I remember the first time you told me about that. It felt like my prayers had been heard. Like I had hope, real hope, for the first time. Ever since that awful day, I've wondered, what if I hadn't sent him to school? What if I just paid the ransom? Not a day goes by when I don't think that if I'd done something differently, Shuichi would still be alive. You can't blame yourself, ma'am. It was the culprit's fault, not yours. Though I know that won't help any. Grief is funny like that. I'm guessing that's why you're after the right? Guess I didn't need to ask. It's written all over your face. I can tell how much he meant to you. But, and this is a big but, if this right is the real deal, using it will mean killing someone and stealing their soul. Is that a problem? Yes, it's a problem. If it comes to that, I'm afraid I'll have to stop you. Oh, that's a shame. A shame, huh? That's all? I'd thought, if I'm going to be competing with other curse-bearers, then your detective skills might come in useful. You realize you're talking about ending someone's life, right? Don't you see an issue with that? I think any parent in my position would happily kill for a chance like this. Probably. That's so, is it? Oh dear. What have I gotten myself into? If it makes you uncomfortable, then you won't have to get any blood on your hands yourself. I don't need you to kill the other curse-bearers. I only need you to find them. I won't be party to murder, ma'am, not even for a client. He is desperate for money. I'll say... Yeah, I'll say... I'll say I'll pay you and see what happens. How much can I give you to change your mind? Sorry, ma'am, but not everyone has a price. I've got my policies and I stick to them. I see. I didn't realize you were so stubborn. Let me say, though, it's not like I don't get what you're going through. As long as you're not killing anyone with your own hands, maybe I can help you out. What do you have in mind? Well, how about stealing someone else's cursed stone after they've filled it with soul dregs? If that was all you were after, then I could lend you my services guilt-free. If the other curse-bearers want to kill each other, that's their business. I'm not trying to be a hero here. I guess there's no guarantee a stolen cursed stone will work, but we can worry about that later. Well then, I suppose we have a deal. Although, what if I stole a curse stone using my curse? Would you disapprove? That would void our contract, ma'am. Just warning you now. My. About my curse. Before we go any further, why don't you tell me about that curse of yours? The haunting clappers, was it? That's one of the 7 Mysteries of Honjo, if I remember correctly. That's right. The original story did happen somewhere near here, I think. I'm sure I remember hearing that. One sec. In that case, my money would be on all the curse bearers being somewhere in Honjo. Our first move should be to narrow them down. Some of them are bound to try and come for you first. We'll need to be ready. The curses make their bearers more willing to kill, so an attack could come from anywhere. That sounds sensible. And if I remember correctly, your haunting clappers can set people on fire, but only if they have a naked flame or a lighter on their person. Is that right? That's right. In olden times, wooden clappers were used to warn people of fire. I'm guessing it punishes those who don't heed the warning. It seems like a good curse to have. It's simple and straightforward enough to use. Although it's hard to say how it stacks up without knowing what else is on the table. You really think it's that good? The target can't do much to throw it off, and it has a nice long activation window. It's big that it works on lighters, too. Just slip one into your target's pocket. And say that condition were already fulfilled before they even knew you're there. They wouldn't even know what hit them. Maybe I won't have to actually use it. I could just tell someone I could, and they'd have to do what I said. Threats could work, although without any proof, it'll come down to how convincing you can be. If only you could use the curse and back out at the last second. At the last second? What an interesting idea. I have a lighter right here. We could try it now. I don't think he wants to do that, Haraway. That's an interesting proposition. But maybe not. I'm not quite crazy enough to make myself a guinea pig. Oh, I see. How are you surprised by that, Haraway? You're an odd one, ma'am, if you don't mind me saying, and I don't think it's just the curse. You flatterer. As for what we do next, first of all, I think you should stay indoors. Try not to do anything spontaneous or outside of your normal routine. Excuse me. Right then. Have you decided what you want me working on? I wonder if this choice actually matters. I wonder if this choice actually matters. I could use backup. But if I send him after Jonouchi and... What was her name? Mizuchi? Mizaichi Shiraishi? I'll say investigate the kidnapping. Finally I have a lead. I need to know what happened to my son. Your wish is my command, ma'am. I'll focus all my efforts on looking into the kidnapping. Although, something just occurred to me. You can't investigate the matter at night, can you? At least until the sun rises. Could you search for the other curse bearers? All right, I see how it is. Well, I'd be happy to help. Odds are good that the other curse bearers are also working by night. Michio, that's her name. Anyone they kill under the cover of darkness won't be discovered until sunrise. I bet they'll be trying to do as much as they can before morning comes. So, it's settled then. I'll look into the other curse bearers by night. And once the city wakes up and I can start asking questions, I'll investigate the kidnapping as well. I'll even try and find Miss Shiraishi as part of the bargain. Thank you. That's more than enough. Now then. I should get to work. There's only so much time before sunrise. I'll call you if I find out anything new. You stay here and keep a lookout. All right? There's no telling what kinds of curses you might find out on the streets tonight. Don't go outside if you can help it, and try to be ready for anything. I will. Well, if that's all, I should be going. A nice thought. "1 a.m. There aren't going to be any more stickers in this room. It's been almost an hour since Richter left. He promised he'd call me if anything happened. But he hasn't. So all I can do is wait and wait. The flowers put me at ease just a little. Should I put a record on? No, it's too late for that. I'm not in the mood for music anyway. That old hanging scroll, I've seen it too often to feel anything from it now. Come to think of it, I never offered him any tea. Not that I ever learned how to make it. Rich kid. I'm waiting for Richter to contact me, but he hasn't. It's a fax machine. Where they find a use for it. Okay. There's nothing on at this hour. I see no point in turning it on. I've already found that sticker. Newspaper. What's this? A newspaper? It must have fallen off the chair. Let's read it. It's a newspaper. I only leave them in here for the guests. I hardly ever read them myself. I don't think I've taken the time to go over one in years, in fact. Well, it's not like I have anything better to do. Yeah, what do you do with your time? Society articles. It looks like the city's biggest problem right now is pollution. I remember how the air and water used to be even more polluted. The river was covered in scum from all the sewage and industrial waste, and it stank so badly it'd make my eyes water. Eventually, people started getting sick, and it couldn't be ignored anymore. Fortunately, it's gotten better since then. Although the air around the industrial district is still filthy with gas and smog. If there's one thing Honjo never wants for, it's horrific crimes. They found a police officer dead in a local park just the other day, which is Tetsuo's plot, I'll bet. A lot of my family are in the police. I hope it wasn't anybody I knew. I don't read the news anymore. Not since last year. It brings back bad memories. Suicide at local high school. Oh, I remember that. A high school girl jumped off a roof about a week ago. She was bullied, I think. Or maybe it was something about exam pressure? What? But... no, this can't be right. Her name. Michio Shiraishi from Komagata High School? It can't be. Well, that doesn't seem correct. Michio was the girl that was with Jonouchi. What was the name of the girl Yako's friend that killed herself? It wasn't Michio Shiraishi. No, it was. Oh. What was the name of the girl that Jonouchi was seen with in Yako's story? The delinquent one. Okuda. Wow, I was way off. All sorts of articles about the current state of the economy. Now that the post-war boom has passed its peak, we're moving into the era of large corporations. It's about 220 to 230 yen to the dollar. Manufacturing is on the rise, and exports are healthy. The dollar's down from its height, and people are saying it could fall further. There's no denying how much the standard of living has improved in the past few years. It's common to own a car and television now, and supermarkets are better stocked than ever. Hitomi Okuda, you were right. Although with everyone flocking to the city, land prices are skyrocketing. Plot of Yakuza 0! And I will ban you. The city center is going to be nothing but apartments before long. I'm not exactly a businesswoman, so this all feels like another world to me. Culture. Now that everyone has more spending money to go around, people are coming up with all kinds of new diversions. It seems like only yesterday that people were flocking to the arcades to shoot aliens. But now we have these enormous theme parks and gaming machines that plug straight into our televisions. Everyone's talking about superhero series, foreign films, and movies based on the latest bestseller. Back in my day, fusion rock and folk music was all the rage. But now it's all about city pop and idols. I find it hard to care about that sort of thing anymore. I hear the new big thing is some mascot line of delinquent birds. Mockingbirds, I think it's called. Yeah, we know you hear that. You heard it an hour ago. Was that what Richter was talking about? Trends seem to have such short shelf lives now, with how quickly the times are changing. Tell that to Pokemon. I think I'm just too old to keep up anymore. It's young people who are leading the way with their modern worldviews. My generation will only fall further behind. How old is Haruwe? Is she like 40? So, God, she'd be in her 80s now. Because this takes place in what, like 1982 or something? Education. Everyone attends high school now, even girls. Universal education policy, they call it. The country's gotten rich enough that every child can go to school. Education is the backbone of modern society. If you want to work for a good company, you have to get into a good university. With more people in the running than ever, the competition to get into those universities has gotten fierce, though. The new generation is rebelling. Schoolyard violence and delinquency are on the rise. But my boy was too sensible to get mixed up in any of that. I don't want to read anymore. It'll only remind me of him. I don't really watch much television. Yeah, I know. It feels as if all the information in the world gets passed through that little black box. But Father stopped them from reporting on the kidnapping back when it happened. I was glad about that. Less fuss. Now the comedy boom is over. All the comedians are flocking to other genres. The occult seems really popular at the moment. Look at all these paranormal specials. Alright, somebody else is in the room, aren't they? Let's check the phone again. I'm waiting for Victor to contact me. I've made sure the receiver is on the hook. It'll ring as soon as he calls. Ah! That must be him. Hello, Shigima residence. Komagata Bridge. Richter called me out to meet him, and we came here to Komagata Bridge. I wonder if he's got a curse now. Richter, there's something I need to tell you. Funny, I was just thinking the same thing. He's gazing down at the water. What does he see down there, I wonder? The Sumida River. The water is filthy and horrid, but at night, when it's still, it looks almost peaceful. Can I ask you something, ma'am? Is the Sumida River what you Honjo folks picture when you think of home? I couldn't say. All I can tell you is that I can hardly stand the sight of it. Right, should have guessed. This was where they found him after he went missing. All alone, floating in that horrible water. I should have looked for the stickers before clicking on anything. All I can think is how scared he must have been. How cold he must have been. What did he ever do to deserve something so awful? I've come here every day since then. And I prayed to the river to give him back. To give me back my son. Day after day after day. You know, in olden times, people believed rivers marked where our world met the next. So the act of crossing flowing water had a huge amount of spiritual significance. Back when Edo was founded, the people of Chuo saw the Sumida River the same way. They associated the far side of the river with the afterlife. That same place would later become Honjo. All their fear and revulsion accumulated there and took root. But then the Ryogoku Bridge sprang up after the Great Fire of Meireki, and just like that, Honjo was part of the city too. And as it turned from farmland into a town, the people surrounded it with man-made rivers and crisscrossed it with canals and waterways. Weren't those to prevent flooding? That's what I was told. They were, but that's not all they were for. Their other purpose was to contain all the corruption that had built up on the far shore, and stop it leaking through to our side of the Great Divide. Officially, they were a physical barrier, but unofficially, they were a spiritual one too. So, if I have this right, are you saying that Honjo is the place where the real world meets the afterlife? Exactly. That's why the rite of resurrection is here, rather than anywhere else. I'm sure of it. And it's probably why the Seven Mysteries and their curses have survived to the modern day. And I guess that would make this spot we're standing now, right over the water. He is very hot, by the way. The border between life and death. If there ever was a place where bringing back the dead might be possible, I reckon it's here. It's funny that you mentioned praying to the river. That might have done more than you think. Is that supposed to make me feel better? Just thinking aloud, ma'am. Well, it's a nice thought. A Class A river that is part of the Arakawa River system, which runs through much of eastern Tokyo and empties into Tokyo Bay. During the Edo period, Sumida's riverbanks played a key role in the transportation of lumber used for construction. In addition to its logistical importance, it was also a place for the common folk to gather and enjoy activities such as seasonal flower viewing or river bathing, and there exist many woodblock prints depicting such activities. The area became plagued with sewage issues when the surrounding environments were industrialized in the post-war period, but the situation has improved since. Many unique bridges span the Sumida River, including the Ryogoku and Azumabashi bridges, which attract a large number of visitors as sightseeing spots. Massive fireworks displays in the summer are also always sure to draw a crowd. The river has served as a cornerstone for both the city and its people, having both aided in its development and serving as an inspiring backdrop for countless works of art and literature. Okay, sticker. Uh-huh. Mockingbird number 18 discovered. Let's make sure there aren't any more. We're on Komagata Bridge over the Sumida River. There's a highway on one side and a freeway on the other, but they're both deserted this late at night. One of the bridges spanning the Sumida River, completed in 1927 as part of the reconstruction effort following the Great Kanto earthquake. It is notable both for its distinctive blue arches and the cutting-edge, for the time, techniques used in its construction. There are many bridges stretching across the Sumida River, each boasting a unique structural form and design. Oh, that's right. There's one more memory I have of this river. Do you mind if I tell you? Go ahead. It must have been about 20 years now, when I was still a schoolgirl. Back then, the Sumida River was much filthier than it is now. It was full of garbage and industrial discharge. It was scummy and slimy, and it stank. You could look out over the water and see dead cats and dogs and pigeons just floating. And one day, among all the filth and garbage, there was a piece of my missing classmate's hand. What? It was almost a miracle when you stopped to think about it. What were the chances that someone would find a part of her that was still recognizable? And that, although everything but the palm had rotted away in the water, the part that was left would have an identifiable scar? And that they could tell it had been a murder from the blade marks on the bone? Wait, are you talking about the Nejima murders? So you have heard of it. I'm impressed. This is paid for by the real Sumida City's tourism board. I guess the seven mysteries and the curses and stuff are a part of their tourism plan? Because this is not making me want to go to Sumida City. Excuse me. So you have heard of it. I'm impressed. I assume you were but an elementary schooler at the time. I wasn't really aware of it then. I only heard about it after the fact. I had no idea the victim was a classmate of yours. A notorious case from over 2 decades ago involving the murder of a female high school student. It first came to the attention of the authorities when part of a human left hand was discovered floating in the Sumida River. Testing revealed it to belong to a missing female high school student. As it appeared to have been severed deliberately, the police launched a murder investigation. A large-scale search of the river was organized, but the highly polluted state of the water made this impossible. Visibility was poor, the stench was intense, and the divers quickly fell ill. They succeeded in recovering only the victim's head and what appeared to be part of her leg before the search was called off. At the time of the incident, the Sumida River was as polluted as it had ever been. Neither fish nor shellfish could survive in it, eventually causing the annual fireworks festival to be called off indefinitely. Over the course of the search, the police discovered a number of unidentified human bones. This caused a stir among the public, as several other young women had gone missing in recent years in the Tokyo area, and it was feared that they may have fallen victim to the same fate. Forensic technologies at the time, however, were not advanced enough to determine the identities of the deceased, and so the police were unable to open any inquiries. Due to the overwhelming lack of circumstantial evidence, the investigation ground to a halt until a hitherto unrelated individual came to its attention. During a questioning about a separate incident, Fumichika Nejima, a 36-year-old shop owner with no relation to the victim, divulged details about her that had never been released to the general public. An investigation into his background was conducted, leading to his arrest. Nejima testified that he had snatched his victim from the street and confined her in the underground storeroom of his shop, which also served as his living quarters. He chose her for no special reason, but simply decided she was an opportune target on seeing her walking alone at night. After keeping her locked up for several days, he restrained her, sewed her mouth shut, and severed her fingers and toes with a box cutter while she was still conscious. As she screamed silently behind her sealed lips, he proceeded to her wrists, her ankles, her elbows, her knees, working his way inward slowly and methodically. His victim constantly wavered in and out of consciousness. Her ordeal continued until she died of blood loss. Nejima dismembered the rest of the body and disposed of it behind his home in the Sumida River before cleaning his storeroom and returning to his everyday routine as if nothing had happened. The brutality of his actions shocked the nation when they were eventually reported. Once apprehended, Nejima readily divulged the details of the murder, but was less willing to explain his motive. When asked, he would only break down in tears, saying, "I don't know what came over me. I know it was wrong." In the end, the police could extract nothing more from him than expressions of remorse. Although the efficiency of his methods strongly suggested that he had committed similar crimes in the past, no corroborating evidence ever came to light. Nejima was sentenced to life in prison at his first hearing. The sentence was imposed with no appeal from the defendant. Well, that's fucked up. Oh, huh. That's a caricature. Fumichika Nejima. To be honest, it was all a bit of a blur. A wave of chaos just parting around me. Something like that. They said the rest of her body must have sunk to the bottom of the river. They combed the riverbed, but they only ever found pieces. Everything else must have rotted and flowed out to sea. Afterwards, I heard that all the divers who had been looking for her fell ill. A sorry story for everyone involved, huh? It's funny. Everyone figures the river's filthy already, so one more piece of garbage won't hurt. But every little bit makes it worse. It's a vicious cycle. I know I wouldn't want to go rooting around down there myself. That's right, which is why the riverbed is the last place anybody would go looking. Or so was the killer's thinking, I suppose. The times were changing quickly back then. Things were confusing. Everyone seemed to be in a hurry. Young people were moving to Tokyo in droves. Some even ran away from home to make it in the big city. And they made easy targets for bad people. A lot of them ended up disappearing without a trace. You see, back then, if you chopped a body up into tiny pieces and threw it in the river, it would rot quickly and discreetly and sink to the bottom, never to be seen again. Are you saying what I think you're saying? They arrested him shortly after, Fumichika Nejima, the man who killed my classmate and cut her into pieces. He was so methodical about it, it couldn't have been his first crime. And people began to wonder how many other girls he'd murdered the same way. The police never found any evidence of other murders in the end, but the river knows the truth. How many corpses has it swallowed up over the years, I wonder? That same thought spread through everyone's mind, and they started to avoid this area. So, really, this river has been rank with corruption for decades now. Or at least, that's how it seems to me. Well, was that interesting? Well, I can see why you don't have any good memories of this river. Yeah, sorry for bringing you out here. With all that darkness lurking beneath the surface, there's no reason that you would. Still, if I may, ma'am, I'm surprised you know so much about the Nejima murders. But how could I not? After all, I was the one who found the hand. The police actually wrote me a thank you letter. They said it was only thanks to me that they managed to bring Nejima to justice. That was the only time my father ever said he was proud of me. Oof! So, are the Nejima murders a real thing? Or is it made up for this game? And if it's a real thing, I guess they just made up who, that Haraway found the hand? Huh. I guess it just wasn't the killer's day. Sometimes I wonder if he resents me for it. Her dad sucked before the kidnapping, yep. Standing around is the last thing I want to be doing right now. This is my only chance to bring back my son. I can't afford to fritter it away. The Sumida River, I have nothing but awful memories of it. Alright, now we'll talk to Richter. Well, we've been talking to Richter, but we'll press the talk button. You go first. Please, go ahead. Alright then. I've been poking around places connected to the Seven Mysteries, looking for curse bearers. And I think I've found a few candidates. First, a tall man I ran into in Kinshibori Park. I asked him for directions, trying to probe him a little, but he turned the questions right back around on me. And he was out of there the second he figured I wasn't what he was looking for. I got the sense curses were nothing new to him. I'm about 40% sure he's a curse bearer. Then there's this middle-aged guy I saw on South Warigesui Street. That's the one who shoved Shogo into the building, I bet. There's no question about this one. He had one of the curse stones in his hand. He had a nervous air about him, too. It was clear he was up to some shady business. Gathering soul dregs, I'd bet. He'd make a good target. Next up is a pair, a young man and woman I saw around Ryogoku Bridge. This time, the man came up to me and asked me flat out if I was a curse bearer. I told him I didn't know what he was talking about, and he backpedaled and left. Looks like they lurk around there often. Looking for kindred spirits would be my guess. Though it didn't seem like they were quite working as a pair. Gathering soul dregs in a group might be a decent idea if you could make it work. But with things being how they are, it's got to be hard to find folks one can trust. They've got brass, though. I don't know what their deal is, but I'd like to find out. Yeah, being asked by a complete stranger if you're a curse bearer cinches the deal that there's something supernatural going on and Harue's not just making it up. Last is two detectives I've seen sniffing around. The police are involved? Not necessarily. A body turned up in a local park a few days ago, so they might just be looking into that. Still, the park's got ties to one of the Seven Mysteries. Might be it was a curse that did the guy in. And if they're sending in detectives from the head office, then something's got to be up. How do you know where they're from? Let's just say that when you're in this business, there are some faces you get to know. Anyway, that's everyone who's caught my eye. Yeah, you went to school with the younger detective. You found all of them in so little time. I really did hire the best. It's all in the name, ma'am. Richter Kai, P.I. No, wait. Make that Richter Kai Investigator Extraordinaire. All right, Hildebrand. My, an Investigator Extraordinaire. Is that why you can dress like that without drawing attention to yourself? You bet. An Investigator Extraordinaire can blend in like a chameleon in any outfit. Well, that aside, the middle-aged man and the young couple sound the most promising. Am I right? Whichever we pick, it's still too early to make a move. It seems like the curse bearers are less involved with each other than we thought. Plus, there are still others we don't know about. I say we hang fire and see how things play out. Once more bodies start showing up, that'll get the pot nice and hot. And once it's boiling, our chance will come. There's something I need to tell you. What's up? Well, that girl, Michio Shiraishi. The one who was with Shuichi on the day of the kidnapping? That's her. Well, she's dead. She's what? The student who committed suicide last week. That was her. I heard something like that had happened. Never got the name, though. Talk about bad luck. We finally get a lead, only to find it's turned into a literal dead end. Unless her death was the whole reason Jonouchi was so shaken up. He said she was going to curse him. Was he talking about her taking revenge from beyond the grave? It seems like we're back where we started. Not necessarily. That teacher knows something. I'm sure of it. At the very least, I'd put money on him having something to do with Miss Shiraishi's death. That's why he's so scared of being cursed by her. I see. And also, something tells me he knows more about your son's kidnapping. In any case, I think I've got a good idea of what he's hiding. Call it a hunch. A hunch? Well, more of a theory. Care to take a guess? One sec. I have to go to the bathroom really bad. I'll be right back. Okay, back. Sorry about that. I can guess. I can't say for certain, but... Wait, hang on. Log. Michio Shiraishi. Shojo silenced Michio Shiraishi with murder. What if Mr. Jonouchi silenced Michio Shiraishi with murder? What do you think? I see. So you think Miss Shiraishi's death might not have been a suicide. That would certainly give him a good reason to think she'd hold a grudge, but I'm not sure I buy it. That might be a little far-fetched. I see. Sorry if I disappointed you. I'm not really cut out to play detective. Well, no point dwelling on speculation. The truth will out in time. Right now, I think we need to have another chat with Mr. Jonouchi. Is something wrong? Not really. It just struck me. It's been 20 years since the Nejima murders. So it has. Not to spook you or anything, but I thought you might be interested in knowing. Life in prison doesn't always mean life. There's precedent for first-time offenders being allowed out on parole after 20 years. Oh, what if Nejima is the one... I guess he's getting at what if Nejima was the one who killed Shuichi as revenge. Only if they're found to show remorse and the desire to reform themselves, of course. That's right. I'm impressed you know some... Why are you impressed that he knows that? He's a detective. Still, it's hard for someone with a criminal record to reintegrate into society. I hear they've been trying to fix that recently, matching inmates with jobs and accommodation. Oh, really? They keep an eye on them, of course, and make them report in for regular checkups. But to avoid discrimination, they keep the inmates' records a secret from everyone but their employers. They even give particularly notorious criminals new identities so they won't be recognized in the workplace. My. The way you put it. It's like you're saying Fumichika Nejima could be out on parole right now. Back in society under a new name, with with nobody any the wiser. It's possible. As it happens, a little birdie told me about a big name making parole a few months back. I don't know if that was Nejima, but our discussion just now did bring it to mind. I see. How unsettling. Now that you mention it, I just remembered something too. What was it? I was passing Komagata High School a little while ago when I saw someone. A janitor, I think, and I could have sworn he reminded me of Fumichika Nejima. Oh shit, really? Oh? He looked a little different after 20 years. Much thinner than I remembered, too. I told myself I was just seeing things. But perhaps it was him after all. So, what next? The big question now is what the rest of the curse bearers are up to. Why would they place... Hang on. Why would the Japanese prison system place a child murderer as a school janitor? The big question now is what the rest of the curse bearers are up to. Luckily, the Sumida River is a good distance from any of the Seven Mysteries. It's unlikely the other curse bearers will come all the way here. I can finally have a moment to think. I see. All right. Long moment. Can it currently progress any further? Once your situation has changed, select resume to try again. Pressing suspend will return you to the story chart. Fair enough. Okay, well... Maybe we now know not to trust the guy? Well, we'll go with Tetsuo for now. Putting aside believing in reform, it is kind of tempting fate to have that particular position. Yeah, like... Yes, reform is possible. Once you've served your sentence, you should have the chance, if your crime isn't insane like his was. But you don't place somebody in the same place they committed, in the same setting they... Why would you do that? Alright, Tetsuo. Tetsuo Tsutsumi, Chief Inspector of the Metropolitan Police Department, 1st Investigative Division, is investigating the mysterious death of a fellow officer. He visits the scene of the incident, the former Yasuda Gardens, with his subordinate, Jun Ario. Wait, maybe I have to get the question right? Because I heard a you did it wrong noise after the conversation with Richter where I said that Jonouchi silenced Michio. Maybe I have to get that right to proceed as Haruhi? Hey, boss. Forensics is all done. The crime scene is clean. The other officers have all gone home. It's just us now. Hang on, I'm going to save, because it's been a bit. We haven't saved yet today. The other officers have all gone home. It's just us now. The park should be able to open back up tomorrow like nothing ever happened. I doubt it'll get many visitors after everything that's happened. You'd be surprised. Lots of people love that kind of thing. I bet they'll be lining up to get in. Occult stuff is really popular right now. Did you not know that, boss? Sounds stupid. Well, it's not exactly rooted in science, but if ghosts really did exist, we could just ask them who the perp is. Somehow I doubt it'd be that simple. Oh, but, you know, I've heard that high school girls are really into this spirit board thing these days. Supposedly, you can call on spirits and talk to them by using a board with letters on it. Wouldn't that be something? Yeah, wouldn't that be something? You can try it out yourself if you're so interested. Hey, that's not a bad idea. Let's give it a go sometime, boss. What now? Stop messing around. You really think we're going to solve this case by moving a coin across a scrap of paper? Sounds like you know all about it. I was about to say. We've got to be open-minded. What if that's how police work is going to be from now on? Don't make me laugh. Listen up, Ario. You can't go blaming the death of your buddy on something like the occult. I don't care if it was ghosts or the occult or what. Whoever or whatever it was that did this. I'll get them. I promise you that. So, maybe June's the one who's going to get the curse, and we're playing from the perspective of like the Mio or Richter of this route. Well, you've got the right attitude, but we don't even know if this is a murder yet. Biases weaken our judgment. Get too fixated on one thing, and you stop seeing everything else. Aye, aye, boss. So, now that we've finished investigating the scene, let's review what we know. Now? It's getting late. I figured we'd head straight home from here. Come on, we've got to go over all the info we've gathered. And what better place to do that than here at the scene of the crime, where we can soak up the atmosphere? Soak up the atmosphere? The hell is there to soak up? You must be really into this occult stuff if you get off on being in a place like this. Wait, you mean being somewhere like this doesn't get your blood pumping? No way. No, don't turn this around on me. I'm not the weird one here. Cripes. Fine. Let's get this over with. Aye, aye, boss. Alright, let's look for stickers. Yeah, I didn't think so. Oh well. June Ario, a detective in the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department, 1st Investigative Division. His rank is Sergeant. This is his first time leading a case. It's like he's graduated from rookie to newbie. He looks put together on the outside, but acts like a kid most of the time. Honestly, the force could use more people like him. Really? You weren't talking about him like you admired him. The former Yasuda Gardens here in Yokohama Ichime were originally built as part of a daimyo's estate back in the Edo period. The park became city property a number of years ago and underwent extensive renovations. There's not a soul around at this time of night. Quiet doesn't even begin to describe it. This pond, they say it used to flow into the Sumida River. But the river became so polluted that they cut it off. So, early in the morning yesterday, a staff member found the victim collapsed here in the park and called the police when they realized he was dead. While there were no obvious external wounds, the fact that he was a police officer and the evidence of a struggle means it's likely that this was a murder. The Sumida office sent it over to us since it involved the death of an officer, and we were tasked with the investigation. What we need to do is figure out what happened and whether there was foul play involved. I think that about sums things up. But, boss? Yeah? Is this case really important enough to assign to someone from the investigation division? I mean, a friend of mine died, so it's important to me, but it's all up to the higher-ups. I'm sure they've got their reasons. Boss, you know something, don't you? It'll all become clear in time. Try not to worry about it too much. Thinking about it, the only thing we know for sure is the identity of the victim. That means there must have been something special about him, right? Maybe he knew something he wasn't supposed to. Some kind of secret or something. Isn't that right? You're pretty sharp sometimes, you know that? If you've picked up on that, you should be able to put the rest together yourself. Well, it is our duty to get to the bottom of a suspicious death, especially one involving an officer. The victim is Hajime Yoshimi of the Juvenile Division of the Sumida City Community Safety Bureau, 27 years old, single. He mostly dealt with cases involving juveniles and education. His rank was senior police officer. Okay, was he involved in the investigation into Michio's death? You knew him well, didn't you? What was he like? Yes, we were in the academy together. We still went out for drinks together every month or two. He could be a little rowdy, but he was like a big brother to us all. He was kind and cared about his friends. For better or worse, he wasn't the uptight type of cop. The man always showed empathy, and I heard he was popular with the locals for it. He treated each and every troubled kid he met with compassion. He had a great track record when it came to rehabilitation. Sounds like we lost a good one. Yes, we did. We truly did. I knew being a cop was dangerous. I knew something like this could happen, but it's never easy when it happens for real. I know the feeling. He didn't seem to care much about climbing the ranks, but he was at the top of our class. Only problem was that he took on so much, he had the most unfinished paperwork, too. I always felt we need an unusual guy like him to help us solve all our unusual cases. Hajime was a police officer with the Sumida City Community Safety Bureau and was primarily responsible for juvenile and education cases. He held the rank of head patrol officer and entered the force at the same time as Jun Ario. Hajime was found dead under mysterious circumstances at the former Yasuda Gardens early in the morning yesterday. Once a rebellious gang member himself, Yoshimi turned his life around and used his own experiences to connect with troubled youth as a police officer. While his appearance and demeanor suggested a man who was rough around the edges, he was a passionate, loyal, and caring man at heart, looked up to as a big brother by his peers. Yoshimi achieved stellar results in his work with juvenile cases, but his consistently sloppy paperwork and less than formal attitude essentially doomed his career and had him writing formal apologies on the regular. He left behind a fiancée whom he had been dating since high school. Wait, Jun just said he was single. Excuse me. Don't worry, you're plenty unusual yourself. Me? I was the most normal of my classmates. Besides, the real weirdo among us quit the academy a long time ago. Yeah, Richter. There was one even weirder than you. Hajime was quite the bad boy in school, apparently. He ended up with the police a lot. He said the officer in charge was good to him, helped him get back on track. The reason he wanted to become a cop was to pay his kindness forward. Said it was the first time he ever took his studies seriously. That's a good story. Love that kind of thing. Makes me want to have a drink in his honor. Please don't make fun of my dead friend. Hey, I said in his honor. You should aspire to become the kind of cop people miss when they die in the field. You say that like it's a sure thing I'll die. Besides, if I end up biting it, I'm sure you'll be the one who misses me most, boss. Come on, don't be like that. You'll hurt morale. Well, I guess how much I'll miss you depends on how this investigation goes. I can already see it. Ario, no! Why'd you have to go and get yourself killed? I have no idea what's going on in that head of yours. Yeah, that'll be a sight to see. I can't wait. You can't wait for your own death. Get it together, kid. Sheesh, you really are something. Thank you? What about the victim's family? The Yoshimi family is from Kitasenju in Adachi City, but Hajime's parents died a long time ago. He lived there all alone, no siblings or anything. I went to his house a few times for drinks. I was surprised. It's this huge, old-looking place. Like, you know, the kind of place that seems super haunted. And he lived there alone? It looked like the home of an old noble family. It was hard to imagine him being such a delinquent living in a house like that. There's that bias I was talking about. If he's from an old family, I'm sure things were complicated. That's a bias, too. He never talked about any of that, even when we were drunk, so I don't know much about it. Oh, one more thing. Yeah? Hajime was engaged. He'd been seeing his fiancée ever since they were in school. Over 10 years. They just started talking about getting married. What was her name again? He showed me a picture once. She was a beautiful woman. That's so. How terrible for her. But she may know if there'd been anything going on with him lately. We should speak to her. Yeah, his fiancée may have been his only confidant. I'm sure someone at the Sumida Police Department has already contacted her. I'll look into it tomorrow. More about the victim. Hey, boss. I looked into the case that Hajime was running. Ah, great. That's the kind of stuff I want to know. What was Hajime working on the day he died? Well, according to his report from the day before, he had 2 cases involving juveniles. Uh-huh. The first was the suicide of a high school girl who jumped off the building in Kamizawa last week. It all ties back to Michio. Yeah, I did hear about that. The girl's name was Michio Shiraishi. She was a second-year student at Komagata High School. But it seems as though Hajime had had contact with her even before this incident. So she'd been troubled for some time. That's the thing. About a month ago, he happened to see her walking around town. She looked upset, so he struck up a conversation with her. He was sure there was something bothering her, but she wouldn't tell him what. Must have been trouble at home. That's what he thought, too. It seems he visited her home and spoke to her parents, but they said there was no problem, so there was nothing else he could do. And now she's dead. Then it's possible he could have prevented her suicide then. He must have been devastated. And that's why he was looking into this Michio Shiraishi again. He must have thought that something terrible had happened that drove her to end her life. But ultimately, he never reported the findings of his investigation. I see, and you're thinking that it may have had something to do with his death. We'll have to find out what it is Hajime discovered. Right, let's check with the Sumida Police Department about that tomorrow, too. Even more about the victim. And what was the other case he was working? This one is also related to a Komagata High student. A troublemaker named Hitomi Okuda. She seems to be the leader of a group of kids who get up to no good. Juvenile delinquency. Fun. She was pretty bad for a while. Multiple charges of destruction of property, assault and battery, you name it. Hajime had been working with her for about 6 months, and she was finally starting to open up. Then he met with the girl the day he died. Well, every school's got its problems. But I'm sure he'd be worried about how she'd get on without him. Excuse me. Right. Just when she'd finally found an adult she could trust. She might act out without someone to help her get through this. We'll have to make sure that Sumida Community Safety Bureau does their job. But, we can't rule out the possibility that meeting with this delinquent girl had something to do with his death. Then we'll have to interview her, too. Yes, you're right. She may have been the last person to see him alive, after all. I'll ask Sumida to introduce us tomorrow. Though, who knows if they'll actually let us talk with her. That's what we hired you for. Lay a little boyish charm on them if they need convincing. Yeah, I'm sure they'd prefer me over a scary-looking old man like you, boss. Watch it. I'm still your superior. You ought to act like you respect me, at least. Oh, I thought I was. You were? Shit, is that just how your generation speaks? You really are a new breed. It's probably just me, actually. Well, don't think you can get away with that with other people. So, anyways, boss. Were you even listening? We've got quite a bit to look into tomorrow. First, the 2 Komakata High School cases that Hajime was handling. And we need to speak with his fiancée as well. I believe that's it for tomorrow. Estimated time of death, 2 days prior. Cause of death, acute heart failure, cause unknown. Signs of a struggle found at the scene, efforts to locate witnesses underway, body discovered by groundskeeper. Currently investigating the fiancée of the deceased and 2 female students from Komakata High School that the deceased had contact with as persons of interest. About the cause of death. As for the cause of death, we won't know until the autopsy is done. From what we've seen, though, it appeared to be some kind of acute heart failure. But since he had no record of chronic illness and had no visible wounds, it's possible that poison or drugs could have been involved. Dying in the middle of the park like that, it certainly seems suspicious. We found signs of a struggle at the scene, as well as footprints belonging to an unidentified individual. We've got people trying to identify those prints. If we can find who they belong to, we might be able to figure this whole thing out. Yes, wouldn't that be nice if that were the end of it? The only things Hajime had on him were his badge and his wallet in his pockets. So we can rule out a mugging. Though there probably aren't many people who'd think to try mugging a cop as big as him. I've also heard that Hajime got into a fair few fights in his younger days. He started judo once he became an officer and rose up the ranks quickly. Sounds like the perp would have to have been pretty strong to take on Hajime. Excuse me. Time of death was around 11 p.m. 2 days ago. Outside of the park's operating hours, of course. His body was found early in the morning yesterday. 11 p.m. the day before yesterday. What was Hajime doing out here at that time in the first place? That's the question, isn't it? The entrance to the park is closed after hours, but it's a small gate that'd be fairly easy for him to get through if he really wanted to. That would, of course, be breaking and entering, but what do you think, boss? Someone called him here. It's hard to imagine a cop like Hajime would trespass for no reason. And since it seems like someone else was here with him, could they have called him here? Oh, that does seem likely. They must have been talking about something pretty sensitive to come here in the middle of the night. So Hajime met someone here to discuss something in secret. And then they got into a fight? No, that wouldn't match the cause of death. There were no wounds on the body that would indicate a spontaneous scuffle. The perp must have planned something. Then you think it was meditated? That would mean they called Hajime to the park with the intent to kill him? Well, there is still the possibility that it was just some kind of accident. Maybe the perp tried to threaten Hajime and things went south from there. We should be able to get a clearer picture once we know exactly what killed him. Right. About Tsutsumi. But either way, I'm so glad you're back in the First Division, boss. I've always admired your work. You were like a god to me. You were the whole reason I became a detective in the first place. Oh, that's awesome praise. Yeah, about that. People have been saying that ever since you first entered the academy, but... Yes, that's because it's true. I couldn't believe you got transferred out of the first just as I was assigned to it. So getting to work a case like this now, just the two of us, is a dream come true. Happy as I am to hear that, yeah, this guy is throwing up death flags. Well, how should I put it? Are you only here temporarily? What is it? If that's true, I'm not sure you've been showing me the appropriate amount of respect. Ha! Huh? But I do respect you. Don't tell me you're going senile, boss. Come on, June. That's exactly what I'm talking about, when you run your mouth like that. It's getting late. You must be sleepy. Don't worry, boss. I'll make sure we get out of here soon. Yeah, I get it. I've been wowed by your shrewd detecting abilities all day today. Oh, really? Funny, I've been wowed by you too, but not in the same way. On the topic of family, what's yours like, boss? The hell is wrong with you, prying into my personal life all of a sudden? It's just, I've never heard you talk about them or anything. Oh, are you single? Shut it. That's none of your business. Well, ever since I joined the force, I've been thinking. The department really pressures young officers to get married. I wonder why that is. You don't say anything like that, though. How should I know? I caved to the pressure myself and got married 20-some years ago. Huh? So then, divorcee? God, you're relentless. She took our daughter and left 4 years ago. Thanks for reminding me. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't believe she'd give up a guy like you. I was never home much. Too focused on work. Yeah, I guess there's some kind of PR to a married cop? Feels weird for the force to pressure the cops to get married. That's very weird. Too focused on work. I'd come home late only to get called right back out again. Plus, being a cop is dangerous work. I don't blame her for getting fed up with it at all. How sad, especially when you're out here putting your life on the line. Oh, is that why you transferred out of the first? It was already too late by then. You better be careful, Ario. You say that, but there's not much I can do, is there? That's the nature of our job. There aren't many who can really understand it, not unless they're involved with police work themselves or related to someone who is. But wait, you have a daughter, boss? You really think I want to talk about her after all that? Have some sense. Come on, I promise I don't mean this the way it sounds, but how old is she? Geez, you don't know when to quit, do you? At least try not to look so intrigued. She's a bit rough around the edges. I think most men are intimidated by her. Last I heard, she's living by herself and going to college. Wow, a college student. Men love an educated lady. Stop that. What kind of cop are you, making baseless assumptions like that? She's living on her own, though, huh? You must worry about her. Worry? I don't even know where she lives. Oh, so she hasn't told you. Probably because she knows you'd follow her around everywhere. I would not. I don't think. Come on now, we both know that's not true. Listen here, you little shit. You may look like a mean old man, but you sure have a soft side. What? Is that supposed to be a compliment? I can't keep up with you. We're done talking about this. No, we're not. Oh, that reminds me. If you got married 20 years ago, it must have been right around the Nejima murder. Oh, bringing that up, all right. You know your history. Yeah, that happened a year or two after our wedding. You were the one who arrested the killer, weren't you? We studied that case at the academy. Oh, interesting. I was only in elementary school at the time, but I still remember people talking about some dangerous criminal getting arrested. All that was just cracking the case, finding the guy. It was all just happenstance. I'd really rather not think about it. It was a disturbing case. Did it not make your skin crawl when you learned about it at the academy? It did. We were all terrified. Sounds about right. No one could believe that such a mild-mannered man could have committed such a terrible murder. If we had overlooked one little thing, we may never have caught him at all. I think I remember hearing there was only one charge brought against him in the end. That's right. We didn't have the evidence. I knew there was no way such a meticulously planned crime could have been there first, but we may have stuck Fumichika Nejima in a cell, but it was no victory. He always had the upper hand. And all the damage he did to everyone involved, especially the victim's classmates. It's already been 20 years, huh? God damn it. This is why I try not to think about it. I'm sorry. About the occult. So all this occult stuff, have you heard about it, boss? What are you talking about? This rite of resurrection thing that everyone's talking about. No, not you too. I've been hearing about that shit everywhere. Oh, you have? That's surprising. Who cares what people are talking about? It's got nothing to do with our job. But don't you think the occult stuff with this case feels, I don't know, realer somehow? The whole thing started right here in Honjo, in Sumida City, so I thought that maybe... Cut it out. Nothing good can come of getting involved with that rite of whatever, or that record of fates. Sounds like you know all about it. Boss, are you secretly into the occult? Stop that. Seriously, this isn't a joke. I get why you'd be intrigued by something called the Rite of Resurrection after a buddy of yours died, but... bringing the dead back to life, that's the stuff of fantasy. It's not real. So don't go hoping for miracles. Got it? I wonder which one these guys are going to get. This is where the victim was found. It's clean now. It almost feels like nothing happened here at all. But once an incident like this has come to pass, there's no going back. Not that knowing that is any consolation. Well, boss, I think that about does it. Right, let's call it for tonight. I'll see you tomorrow. Oh God, what is that? Huh? Boss, what's wrong? Don't tell me you're going senile. Damn it, it was that case all along. Boss, what is it? Is there something over there? Ah! Such deep sorrow. A resentful memory is flowing into your mind. Falsehoods and untruths will be hung up forever in eternal darkness. Kill them. Kill them! Those who spread lies. Kill them all! The Evergreen Beach. You can use it to kill those who intentionally try to mislead you. Interesting. Kills by hanging. A resentful memory. He deceived us with his so-called rite of resurrection. The man who tricked the people with his false dark arts swings from a rope. They'd thought the man had escaped the previous night, but oddly enough, he was found hanging in the garden of the daimyo's mansion that morning. The man, a local named Jinkichi, was known for his kind temperament and skill in crafting netsuke clasps. While his life wasn't always easy, he was optimistic, the type to smile through whatever life threw at him. He was the kind of man who would take care of those who didn't have anyone else to rely on. The prosperity that the ukiyo-e boom brought must have been what fanned the flames of his greed. The old craftsman was found in a miserable state, as if sentenced to some cruel fate. Perhaps he'd ended his own life, unable to bear the weight of his crime. But dead men tell no tales, and the people thought of him as a bad man, even in death. He hung there for days, till his neck stretched horrifically, a visage of pain still etched on his face. It was clear he must have struggled greatly as he died, his flesh marked with dark scars where the rope wrapped around his whole body. The beech tree's leaves do not fall, and neither did the man's body hanging from it, as the mansion's owner was not at home. Another unfortunate event. The people held their tongues, fearing divine punishment, but the rumors persisted nonetheless. A whole series of unfortunate events, you could say. A murderous impulse seeps into my soul like thick, black tar. Now, kill. Can you hear it, curse-bearer? You who so strongly desires the right. Does he? Has he been lying about his daughter being alive? You who so strongly desires the right. Kill them. A Appropriate for a cop to get the "don't lie to me" curse. Boss! Boss! Boss, what's the matter? Don't tell me you really went senile. Sorry. I'm fine. Ario. Yes? I have some bad news. Oh no, your senility is kicking in, isn't it? No, we've got a bit of trouble on our hands. Looks like we'll be working some overtime. We're not going home tonight. Huh? What are you talking about? Okay, we're going to save and take a quick break. Because we've been going for 2 hours. So, Burb.
By the way, if you see my mouse moving, even though the game is in the background, it's capturing my mouse and making noises and looking like it is, but if I click, nothing happens. So, sorry for the noises, but I'm browsing the internet on my break. And chat. All right, we're back. All right. The Hunt for the Curse Bearers, Part 1. "12 a.m. Excuse me. Okay, so let me get this straight, boss. The rite of resurrection really exists, and to use it, you have to kill people using the power of curses from the Seven Mysteries of Honjo. And the curse you have is from the story of the Evergreen Beach that's told in this area? Is that right? Yeah, pretty much. You're quick on the uptake. You weren't your usual silly self when you were explaining, so I knew you were telling the truth. I'm never silly. The only thing I have trouble believing is that you're taking this occult stuff seriously now. I mean, talk about paranormal. I thought you didn't believe in any of that. It's not that I don't believe in it. My familiarity with it is why I've tried not to get too close. Are you just being a sore loser? Not used to admitting you were wrong? Oh, shut up and listen to me. No point in trying to hide things anymore. Yeah, tell us! We won't get anywhere if you don't understand this, so listen up. Please, just listen. You don't have to keep saying it. I'm listening. We don't have time to waste. We'll talk as we walk. Hey, wait for me, boss. Peppy music for what's going on? Okay. To Ryogoku Bridge, I guess. Oh, I'll bet that if I had talked to Tetsuo as Shogo when I ran into these guys, Tetsuo would have killed Shogo. But because I talked to June, the things I told June were not lies being told to Tetsuo. Sorry, I just wanted to double check one thing. You're telling the truth, right? This isn't a side effect of your senility? It's the truth. Not like I can prove it, though. Alright, sticker. Sticker? Revealing the existence of a secret department is against the rules, even to a fellow cop. But this is an emergency. I need his help. I'll tell him. So you're part of the Paranormal Affairs Division. Interesting. He's not stupid, but he sure can be slow sometimes. Though I think that positivity of his may come in handy at some point. So, if Tetsuo knows what's up with curses and the like, he's probably going to resist the killing urge pretty strongly. I'm sure you already know this, but this is all top secret. No sharing it with anyone. Right, you can trust me not to. But, no, I just can't believe it. I'd heard rumors that you used to be a member of a secret division attached to the Security Bureau. I can't believe we actually have a department called Paranormal Affairs. I was right. Exactly the name. Yeah, I'm sure it comes as a shock. I couldn't believe it myself. I thought the higher-ups were messing with me. Really had me worried for a while there. No, this is incredible. That's the whole reason I became a cop. I was always fascinated by secret agencies and stuff. I thought the reason you became a cop was Tetsuo. You serious? But thinking about it, it totally makes sense. If curses and spirits really do exist, then of course we need a special department to protect citizens from them. You seem a bit too eager to believe all this. And hang on, I thought you joined up because of me. Come on, boss, do you only have one favorite food? You can like more than one thing. Yeah, whatever. In any case, the official stance is that the supernatural doesn't exist, so Paranormal Affairs operates in secret. Still not sure why they stuck me there. Those 4 years, I worked nothing but cases involving the supernatural. Although officially called the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department, Security Division, Special Security Unit, Paranormal Affairs Bureau, that's a mouthful. It is more commonly referred to simply as Paranormal Affairs. Only a handful of people know of its existence, even within the police force. As the name suggests, it specializes in the investigation and resolution of cases involving paranormal phenomena. Since the existence of paranormal phenomena is not public knowledge, nor is it readily believed by the general population, the Bureau's activities are conducted in the utmost secrecy. Currently, there are only 5 members, including the chief. The Bureau has a network of psychic contacts across this country who assist with their cases, including Mio Kurosuzu. The Bureau undertakes investigations into any suspicious stories that cross their desk, though the vast majority turn out to be hoaxes. Due to the sheer volume of cases, closed-lipped, experienced detectives without paranormal abilities of their own, such as Tetsuo Tsutsumi, are sometimes assigned to investigate. The current chief of Paranormal Affairs is a man named Kuiru Nakagoshi. He was born to a family of psychics who have been involved in keeping the world safe from paranormal phenomena for generations, and has served as Mio Kurosuzu's mentor since discovering her. Kuru is an elusive figure. Very few have met him in person, and he is rarely seen in the office. It is said that this is because he has often become the target of curses. However, some theorize that it is in fact because Kuru is not actually of flesh and blood at all. His seat in the office is usually occupied by a Nue, a legendary creature found in Japanese folklore. The Nue resembles an ordinary white's thrush and acts as Kuru's messenger, leading to bizarre scenes of police officers earnestly reporting their findings to a bird. The term Nakagoshi case serves as a code name used to refer to cases under investigation by Paranormal Affairs. June Ario. The fresh-faced police detective that Shogo Okie met at Midoricho Park. June is a young detective with the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department, 1st Investigative Division, with the rank of sergeant. June encountered a curse echo while investigating the mysterious death of his colleague Hajime Yoshimi in the former Yasuda Gardens with Tetsuo Tsutsumi. When Tetsuo explained to him that the supernatural is real, he accepted this fact without a moment's hesitation and vowed to help his partner to solve the case. Born to a relatively well-off household, June developed a healthy sense of self-esteem and an optimistic outlook on life. Although watching action movies and detective series as a child instilled in him a desire to help those in need, it was the sight of Tetsuo Tsutsumi, who was in charge of investigating a case June was involved in as a student, that truly inspired him to become a police officer. While June still maintains a strong respect for Tetsuo, he also gets much enjoyment out of making casual cracks to get a rise out of the veteran officer. As an adult, June continues to hold on to the faint hope that the world is as he pictured it in his youth, a thrilling place in which superhuman heroes do battle against secret evil organizations. He attended the police academy with Richter Kai, who is now a private investigator. The two initially became friendly when June found Richter holed up alone in the reference room, scouring over old crime data, and invited him to go bowling, a popular pastime during this era. The gruff police detective that Shogo Okie met at Midoricho Park. Tetsuo was a veteran detective with the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department with 1st Investigative Division. The Japanese subtitle for this game is File 23, by the way, so presumed to be what the incident this game revolves around is filed as for Paranormal Affairs. That's cool. He was possessed by the Evergreen Beach curse echo while investigating the former Yasuda Gardens. Previously a member of the secret Paranormal Affairs Bureau within the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department, Security Division, he makes use of this experience to investigate the ongoing large-scale curse incident with his partner, June Ario. Rather than sitting behind a desk, Chief Inspector Tsutsumi always worked in the field as he moved his way up the police force. Behind his stern face lies a compassionate man, ever prepared to help his fellow officers. That same attentiveness to his work and colleagues, however, cost Tetsuo his marriage several years ago. Tetsuo has a penchant for candy and desserts, which he tries but fails to conceal from other officers at the risk of appearing soft. He delights in buying local sweets wherever he is sent to investigate a case, and would often volunteer to be dispatched to distant locations to acquire them while he was with the Paranormal Affairs Bureau. He is also surprisingly knowledgeable about current trends, a trait he puts down to investigation-related research, but which is actually spurred by his wish to have something to discuss with his daughter. So, do you, have it? Have what? Spirit sense, of course. Are you what they call spiritually gifted? Nope, I've never felt anything at all. Even if I did, I'd be a lightweight at best. 1 beer and I'm down for the count. That same metaphor. Oh, huh. Is that how people in the field quantify someone's spirit sense? Like how much liquor they can handle? Nope, that's just me. Not just you. Thought it'd help get the point across. Oh, huh. Sorry, seems like I keep disappointing you. No, it's not your fault, boss. At the risk of disappointing you yet again, I'll tell you one more thing. Spirit sense is usually something you're born with. It's tough to develop it later on. What? So there's no hope for me? No, say it isn't so. Of course you were interested. Well, you never know. You may have some hidden potential. I know there's a high schooler who's got so much spirit sense that she works on the front lines. I say work, but she wasn't paid because it was supposedly part of her training. Yikes. That seems like it'd be in violation of Article 69 of the Labor Standards Act. Wow, you really know the law. No comment. Even the occult field has worker rights issues, huh? So, what do we do now? We've got this rite of resurrection and the curse echoes of the Seven Mysteries of Honjo. The curses being spread out around the city is a bit of an emergency. It's that bad? I'll put it this way. It's like handing out guns all over town. Jeez, that's real bad. It is. So we need to find the source and put a stop to it before something terrible happens. Usually that'd be a job for Paranormal Affairs, but I talked to them on our way here. The main team is tied up till tomorrow night. How did you talk to them? So they told me to deal with it myself. Said it'd be fine since I have some experience. Huh? What? Then that overtime you mentioned means... Yep, you're gonna help me, partner. Alright, let's do this. You seem a bit too eager to dive into all this. You really have no reservations working a case you know nothing about. You said this was an emergency. I didn't think we had a choice. I'm just trying to be logical about this, boss. You really are something. It might actually be nice having you around. Why, thank you. So, what exactly do we do? Excuse me. If these curses are connected to the Seven Mysteries of Honjo, then the people who have the others should all be here in town. Right. If there's 7 of them, that means there are 6 more out there. And we have to stop them all before they kill anyone with their curses. There's more than 6. If we can, we should find and collect all the curse stones. But boss, from what you said earlier, killing a curse bearer gets you closer to completing the rite of resurrection. Won't your life be in danger if they find out you're a curse bearer? Pretty much. We can't let that happen. Should you even be out here right now? Hiding would only be a waste of time. The mystery of the one-sided reed is associated with Ryogoku Bridge. I was hoping we'd be quick enough to run into the one-sided reed's curse bearer. No such luck, it seems. Well, if nothing else, maybe word will spread that the cops are on the lookout and people will behave. That's putting a lot of trust in whoever these other people are. Yeah, it is, but... He did say if you had any luck. But it's possible that other curse bearers with the same idea will come here. Talk to anyone you see who seems suspicious. That means someone who may have the power of a curse. Understood. In that case... What about that guy over there? Why don't I ask that guy who's been watching us this whole time? Which one is that? Is that the student? What do you know? There is someone there. Good luck. Hey, you there. Sorry to bother you, but I've got some questions. I'm with the police. It is the student. Thanks for your cooperation. We'll be asking you a few things, Mr. Yutaro Namigaki. That's your name, correct? Yes. I don't mind answering your questions. You're a detective? Did something happen? Oh, right. Lots of things have been happening around here. Time to put someone on mute. Oh, right. This is that guy. Yako's the one with the music. So this guy is voice. I've already got it on 0. Oh, right. Lots of things have been happening around here. Like people dying. So, what to make of this guy? He's not subtle. Stickers? No. If this were a normal case, I'd be fine letting him take the reins. But curses are involved here. I should take over. Boss, let's talk to this guy. The man identifies himself as Yutaro Namigaki, a 21-year-old college student. He was watching us so calmly. We need to be careful with this guy. So, what is it you were doing here? It must be the incident at the former Yasuda Gardens. The dead policeman? I can't imagine a detective would come all the way out here otherwise. Huh? Say, Mr. Detective, have you ever heard of the Evergreen Beach? Which of these do I say? I will put some pressure on him. Answer my question. How about you answer my question first? What were you doing here? I was answering your question. I came here to look for the Evergreen Beach from the Seven Mysteries of Honjo. Actually, I was wondering if either of you knew anything about it. I will say, not here. If it's the Evergreen Beach you're after, you'd be better off looking around the former Yasuda Gardens than here. Oh, you know a lot about this. But that's what I thought. Detectives, you have the cursed stone of the Evergreen Beach, don't you? You? How did you know? Ario, you idiot. Ha! Well, that was much easier than expected. Ah, crap, sorry. It was simple inference. I figured you would have taken the curse if you were just in the gardens. If you know that, then you must be a curse bearer yourself. I have no intentions of hiding anything. I plan to tell you from the start. Look, this is my curse stone. I believe it's called the Foot Washing Mansion. That's right, but are you sure about this? I'm not so rash that I'd kill someone as soon as I found out they were a curse bearer, not without talking to them first. You're the same, aren't you, detectives? You wouldn't use a curse on a normal person. Let's speak as equals, shall we? Boss? Sure, we'd rather resolve this amicably, too. But before we talk, there's something I should tell you. This is my curse stone, the Evergreen Beach, just like you thought. What? Boss, why would you tell him? As for how the curse works... this is why. This is why he's gonna make sure he doesn't lie. Boss, are you having another senior moment if you tell him that? It hangs to death anyone who would try to mislead me. So if you try to lie to me, the curse stone will let me know. I don't have to use it to tell. Understand? Oh, really? That's super useful. I see. Understood. That's a pretty useful power for a detective. Now then, let's talk. Damn, it seems I've lost the upper hand. No point for petty tricks then. I'll be honest with you. So far, so good. There's someone I want to bring back. So, I'd like your assistance in collecting soul dregs. Can't help you. Please, all you'd have to do is tell me who the other curse bearers are. Sorry, but as a police officer, I can't just look the other way and let you go. Please, if you help me, I'll let you two go as well. Is that a threat? No. It's your final warning. Oh no, June! June doesn't have voices muted. My curse, the Foot Washing Mansion. Did you really think you could escape it just by being careful? It didn't matter to me which of you was the curse bearer. I'll be taking both of your soul dregs anyway. Wait, Nabigaki!
The foot-washing mansion is a powerful curse, and so simple to activate. It is ready whenever I need it. There is no escape from the voice of my feet. Ariel, get out of here. Hurry. I'll find you later. What? Okay. Too late. Hear the voice of my curse echo. The voice of his curse echo. What? Why isn't my curse echo working? Impossible. This has never happened. What's happening? I don't hear anything. Ario, now, grab him. Right. It's funny that you usually just leave the voice muted. Well, I muted the voice the last time I ran into this guy, and I never turned it back on. Nabigaki, get down! Ah, damn it! Boss, here, his curse stone. Good work. Give it to me. Curse stone acquired. The foot-washing mansion. Damn it. Why? What do you think, boss? Should we lock him up? I haven't even touched you. You can't consider that assault of a police officer. Let him go. All we need is the stone. Oh, how could this happen? My right of resurrection. Give it up. The right was too good to be true from the start. I don't know what happened to you, but you'd be better off mourning whoever you lost the right way. Now get out of here. Damn it. So, here's the oddity. The Tetsuo doesn't appear to have anybody he wants to resurrect. Whereas June would. So it's weird that the curse picked Tetsuo. Unless he's hiding a dead person in his life. But that does mean that he has a high resistance to actually killing people with his curse. Damn it. Phew, that was a close one, huh, boss? We'd probably be dead if he had activated his curse. Yeah, I'm not sure what, but something stopped his curse from... Ugh. Boss, are you okay? Does having another curse stone hurt? Yeah, I'll bet. What if he gets cursed again? Yeah, the curse from this one is flowing into me too. Oh, uh-oh. Oh no. I saw what activates the curse of the foot-washing mansion, and the resentful memories bound to it. Ah, I see. I always thought this one was one of the stranger of the Seven Mysteries. Now I know why. This sure is something. What did you see? Let's save that for later. All you need to know for now is that it's a particularly powerful curse. We're lucky we took it from him quickly. Whew. Yeah, I want to know. A resentful memory. She was an accomplished onmyoji. Alas, she did not use her talents for the good of the world or the people, but for her own selfish pursuit of beauty. After a fierce battle, the woman dragged herself through the streets. It was like something had gnawed away at her body. Will I die? I've already obtained what I needed. As long as I have this. Suddenly, a terrible realization dawned on her. Her legs wouldn't move. She fell to the ground. What was happening? Surprised, she looked down. Her foot, once so beautiful and delicate, had grown ulcerated and rotten. He got her. She was on the verge of death and covered in filth to boot. Crawling to a nearby house, her breath caught in her throat. The curious residents opened up, but recoiled from what they saw. My foot is so filthy. Someone, please, quickly. The woman expired while mumbling something unintelligible, and so ended the life of a woman consumed by evil. Well, that makes one stone. Where do we go now? We'll visit all the places associated with the mysteries while it's still dark out. You mean we have to do that all over again? I hope they aren't all as aggressive as him, but People will do crazy things to bring back someone they love. It seems that the hatred the curse stones are imbued with makes people more willing to kill. Yeah, so how is that going to work with it all building up inside you? Really? Then what about you, boss? I'm fine. I may not have any spirit sense, but I'm tough when it comes to this stuff. That's why they love me in paranormal affairs. So you are spiritually gifted after all. Alright, let's head to the next place. Alright, number 3. The Hunt for the Curse Bearers, Part 2. Oh, that's the janitor, I think. Wait, no. Is it? Is it the janitor or the guy who shoved... No, it's got to be the guy who shoved Shogo in the dark room. Midoricho Park. 1 a.m. Excuse me. Sorry to bother you, but we have some questions for you. Yeah, it's the guy who shoved Shogo in the room. What? Are you with the police? I haven't done anything. Don't worry, this isn't an interrogation or anything. We just want to talk. You're Hideki Araishi, right? The historian? We know who you are, so this won't take long. But since we saw you here, we'd just like to ask you a couple questions. Local history researcher. Hideki is a historian who works part-time as a curator at the local folk museum and as a teacher at Komagata High School. His recent publication on the rite of resurrection has caused a stir in occult circles. Hideki is the quintessential obsessive researcher. Despite being entirely unsuited for teaching, he had no choice but to take up a position at Komagata High School in order to make ends meet. While having a captive audience in his classes goes some way to satisfying his need for respect and recognition, his conceited nature makes him unpopular among the students. Lately, he is concerned that articles he contributed for purely monetary reasons have earned him a reputation as a researcher of the occult, but the surge of interest in the topic and the resulting volume of article requests he is receiving are undeniably tempting. Hideki is a regular at the Kurokikyo Cafe on Hokusai Street, where he can be found outside his work hours writing essays and manuscripts. His published books include A Study of the Unknown and An Introduction to Bondo History. The young man encountered at Ryogoku Bridge. He didn't hide the fact that he was a curse bearer. His curse stone was later recovered by Tetsuo Sutsumi. Yutaro is an elite student at a prestigious university. He lives off the generous allowance he receives from his parents, who are both prominent local figures. Although Yutaro has lived a charmed material life, emotional neglect at home has caused him to develop a spoiled, egotistical streak. The only kindness he knew growing up was from his family's maid, and he still fondly thinks of the plain rice with butter they used to enjoy together. Well, let's get it over with. I'm a busy man. Yeah, busy doing what? Questioning people like this can put unnecessary stress on them, depending on their position. This guy is pretty sharp. I'll have to play it safe and only push him when I see an opening. And we can't shut off this, guys. Do we have anything to light things up? Boss, let's ask Hideki some questions. Okay, any stickers in the background? There's nothing in the background. Hideki Araishi. He says he's a local historian, but supposedly he knows more about the rite of resurrection than anybody. The fact he's here at this time of night, it's plenty possible that he's a curse bearer. From appearances, it's hard to imagine this small, bookish, well-spoken man being very dangerous. But in this day and age, you never know. I should be careful. What were you doing? Now, Mr. Araishi, what were you doing here at this time of night? Doing research, of course. Day or night, information never sleeps. That's an admirable philosophy. You know, your research has been quite the talk around town. What was it they were saying? You discovered something about some book? The Record of Fates. Ah, right. You found some kind of ritual in the Record of Fates. What? Don't tell me you want to know how to carry out the rite of resurrection, too. To be perfectly honest, I'm tired of people asking me about it all the time. None of you even care about the local history. You just come crawling out of the woodwork when something interesting comes up. Looks like I hit a nerve. If you think you can force me to tell you because you're policemen, you're sorely mistaken. Was the research you were doing just now also related to the rite of resurrection? Well, yes, that's right. What exactly were you looking for? I have no reason to tell you that. You wouldn't understand anyway. Okay. About his research. Are you doing all this research so you can use the rite of resurrection yourself? You're a policeman. Do you really think people can be brought back to life? Everyone I meet. Pitiful. Huh? So you don't believe in the rite? Whether it's real or not has nothing to do with my research. Such things are better left to the occult freaks. Or so I thought. Things changed. It has become necessary for me to pursue the rite. So now I pray that it is real. What changed? I'm sure you can imagine. The funds for my research. I received a large amount of funding for seeking the rite of resurrection. And if I find it, I'll receive a sum so great that I'll never have to worry about money again. Oh, then that means someone is sponsoring your research. Is that right? So what if they are? You have no idea how hard we work to secure funding for our research. I have no interest in teaching those children. Listen to me. I'll tell you one thing. Those experts you see writing provocative books or spouting nonsense on TV to try and get popular, all of them are just trying to get the money they need to do their research. With how popular the occult is, saying something even remotely spooky can lead to big money. What? But I bought your book. The pursuit of the unknown begins, first and foremost, with belief. I was so inspired by that bit. I do appreciate your patronage. Unfortunately, however, the occult is not my true interest. The fate of the unknown is to be destroyed by thorough research and deep consideration. No way. I can't believe it. You're surprisingly innocent. Then what kind of research do you want to be doing? I'm sure it wouldn't interest you, but to put it simply, the focus of my research is how historical accounts transform into folklore over the years as they are passed down from generation to generation. What does that mean? Due to human bias, the account of any event is inevitably changed by the person communicating it. This is not necessarily done with ill intentions. It happens when someone tries to fill in the gaps in a story that lacks detail, or when something's left out or abridged because of the story's length, or when a story twists and shifts as it's spread through oral tradition. Even when two stories are told about the same event, differences in culture or environment affect how it's told, changing its content. Sorry, I had to cough. Silly little things can turn into terribly mysterious legends. My research is the study of how history, culture, and legend all influence each other. Huh, I see. Take the Seven Mysteries of Honjo, for example. Why are some of the mysteries seemingly about nothing particularly interesting? You'd think stories wouldn't last a decade, let alone hundreds of years. So why? Perhaps putting it that way piques your interest? I admit, I am curious. So that's what you've been researching all this time. Makes sense? What if this is his curse, and he's using this to draw us in? As I said, it doesn't matter to me whether the right exists or not. If people in the Edo period believed that what was written in the Record of Fates was real, that's all I'm interested in. But I have to be realistic. The research I'd like to do is unfortunately not very lucrative. That's why I need to take some risks. About the Record of Fates. This Record of Fates, where did you get your hands on it? The storehouse of an old private residence in the city, just as the public was told. I'm unable to be more precise due to an agreement with my informant. Did you steal it? Well, in that case, I think I might have a guess as to what it is you were looking for. Curse stones or curse bearer? Curse stones or curse bearer? I'll say curse bearer. What? Damn it, if you know about that then. Calm down, no need to get so defensive. I'll show my curse stone. We both want information, right? Why don't we have a nice, friendly chat? A curse stone? You are a curse bearer! A leaf. It is the evergreen beech, then. Yep. Will you show me yours? This is mine. The ever-burning lantern. I knew it was him. Interesting. Reveal curse details. I'll tell you this for free. The evergreen beech comes from a man who was hanged for spreading false rumors. But the accusations against him were unfounded, and he died cursing those who deceived him. So that is the resentful memory held within the evergreen beech. The memories of the Seven Mysteries are truly fascinating. If only I could collect them all. Do whatever you want, but you should know something. This stone of mine lets me curse anyone who tries to mislead me. What? But... So don't try and lie to me. I'll know. You would curse a citizen? And you call yourself an officer of the law? That all depends on you. I don't want to use it if I don't have to. What is it you want? The curse stones are dangerous. I'd like to confiscate yours. Excuse me? But my right. First, let me ask you one thing. You haven't used that curse, have you? No, of course I haven't. I swear. I see. Good. Now why don't you hand over that stone? Unless you'd rather try using it on me instead. Damn you, I won't give it to you. If I were to say that, what would happen? Would it be a crime? The police are aware of how dangerous the stones are. I could arrest you under Article 1, Section 2 of the Minor Offenses Act. Or you hand it over and all you lose is your secret ability. Think of what would happen to all your research if you were arrested. Fine. You can have the stone. Here. What if he has more than one? When Honjo was filled with samurai residences, the spies of the shogunate lived amongst the townspeople to keep an eye on things. The soba cart on South Warigesui served as one of their outposts. They would communicate to each other in code by turning the lantern on or off. Tonight at 4 a.m. meant that someone would be having the last soba of their life, and that their belly would be sliced open the next night. An unfortunate incident occurred in which a man attacked a woman in a bout of fury. He regretted it deeply, even declining to invoke the right to defend his honor, but the deed was done. Still, he could not accept it. His rage at having been used by his daimyo boiled over, turning into a grudge he would never forget. Nearby, he saw a lantern, quietly glowing in the night, and when the 6th bell rang, the man cut his own stomach open. Since then, the lantern could be seen alight before the soba cart had opened, and would flicker out suddenly, even when there was no wind blowing. As this unsettling phenomenon continued, the rumors surrounding it grew,
and soon all were convinced that it was the man who cut open his stomach visiting from the beyond. Good choice. I look forward to seeing how your research pans out. All right. Would you tell us everything you know about what's been going on? If you help us out, we'll give you all the information we've gotten after we solve the case. What do you say? In that case, will you tell me all about the resentful memories of the Seven Mysteries? I believe they are the key to the secret hidden in the Record of Fates. Sure, why not? I'll learn about them as I collect the curse stones. This has been a pretty bloodless route so far. But thanks to you, we learned a lot from him. I wonder, the mysteries and rite are all public information. He kept everything he knows about the other curse bearers and the source of the curse here hidden. I was hoping he'd at least give us a clue about how to beat these curses. Oh, I see. Then we should be more aggressive next time. Really make them spit it out. And by we, I mean you. I'm guessing he wants to save this curse. He wouldn't have told us anything, no matter what we asked. But now we know where he hangs out. We can always send someone for him if need be. Right, got it. I was surprised to hear that there are actually 9 of the 7 mysteries, though. Yeah, that's 2 extra curse bearers we have to find. Okay, so we've got 3. Haruhi has the 4th. Yako has the 5th. Probably the janitor has the 6th. Who else? There's the soap guy has the 7th. Let's see. Soap guy has the 7th. Richter might and be keeping it secret. But we can't count on that. He didn't have one? Well, he might have one now if he got the curse of the curse that Shogo got instead, and he's the one that killed Shogo, which is what I was assuming. Okay, so 6 for sure, a 7th probably. So is it the janitor? Is it Jonouchi? Is it, what's-her-face, Okuda? Is it multiple of those? I guess we'll find out. Yeah, that's 2 extra curse bearers we have to find. We've confiscated 2, so there are 6 more. They could be anywhere in this town. We have to find them fast, or they may start using the curses. No, I think we're already too late. Huh? I didn't tell you this, but there were some soul dregs in Namigaki's curse stone. Really? Then he already killed someone with it. It's not much, so it probably wasn't a curse bearer. Shit. Well, we know who did it. We can make arrangements to take him into custody. We'll have Paranormal Affairs pick him up tomorrow. For now, we continue our search. Right, on to the next place. We just have to cross them off the list, one by one. Oh, but, boss? Good to know we can use the Minor Offenses Act to arrest people with curse stones. But why didn't we do that with Namigaki? If we could do that, there'd be no need for Paranormal Affairs. What grounds would a normal detective have to put him under arrest? Oh, right. Yeah, I suppose that's true. So, what teeth does the Paranormal Affairs Bureau actually have? Excuse me. I can't do that yet. So, I gotta go back to Haruhi or Yako. So, we are at 3 hours, and that seems a good stopping point. because we've got the third stream of the month coming up in a couple of days, and we can finish out that time then, rather than starting a new section right now. So yeah, I think that's where we're going to stop for today. Yeah, and I've got to start posting videos to YouTube anyway. So yeah, that's where I'm going to end for today. So I'll read my schedule and get off. Tomorrow I will not be streaming because I've got a doctor's appointment. Tuesday will be more Paranormasight for a patron. Wednesday will be the Somnium Files Nirvana Initiative for a patron. Thursday will be Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc for a patron. Friday will be Jenny LeClue for a patron. Saturday will, of course, be our weekly Final Fantasy XIV stream. And next Sunday will be Star Stealing Prince for a patron. So that's what's coming up. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. And I will see you next time.